Hey, good morning. Welcome to Hobby Evolution, episode 1584. Happy Friday. It's finally here. Getting ready for the weekend. What's going on? Happy Friday. Means we're going to play the free-for-all, or we're going to play Name That Player on the free-for-all. It is the free-for-all. We're going to play Name That Player. You see that stack of boxes getting taller and taller. Those are just a few. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 of my dime boxes that I'll be bringing to Janesville this Sunday. Janesville, Wisconsin, Janesville Card Show. I've got some banging dime boxes. If I were looking through dime boxes as a buyer myself, even on eBay Live, I have a glut of this type of stuff. I would be buying them by the box. So come out and see me in Janesville Sunday. These boxes are not for sale for $25 like the old ones. This is like new stuff. So come out and see me Sunday, Janesville, Wisconsin, Janesville Card Show. I may or may not be at my table. I'll be walking around. So I'll have to keep checking in on my table. But usually I get a lot of my buying done. I get there really early. I get set up, and that allows me some time to walk around and get a lot of buying done. And I do need to get a lot of buying done. I have not. The only thing I've bought this month has been my card shop run, and then I bought some retail, like $100 worth of retail. I don't even know if I spent $100 on retail. Right at 100, I think. That's it. I've spent like $600 the entire month. So the next 2 weekends I'll be really spending some cash. This Sunday, Janesville, next weekend at the Madison Card Show. I looked at my monthly numbers. My numbers are fucking shit this month. I mean, I'm still having a great month. I'm still having a great, what are my, do I have my spreadsheet open? That's not the correct spreadsheet. Like it's still, I don't know if my numbers will be, well, I'll be able to bring it up here in a second. I don't think I'll be, unless I spend a bunch of money, but then my net profit is down. Looking at my eBay numbers, but I did, I spent a good amount in the month of August. Oh yeah, because then I spent a ton at the Madison Card Show. I think there was a Janesville show in August. Was there a Janesville show? I think there was. And then plus the last couple days of the National. So I spent a lot of money in the month of August, which is something that I need to crack down on and get my expenses calculated. I mean, it's funny looking back. The month of January, which should be like a banging month, I think I made more. Let's look at this month. I made more on September 2nd. This is net sales. I made more on September 2nd than I did the entire month of January. I made more on September 8th than I did the entire month of January. And I came up a little short on the 15th earlier this week. That'd be Monday, I think, than I did the entire month of January. So I'm still on pace. I have a good pace going. But I am falling way short. Oh, okay. So because I was looking, I think I'm down 40% month over month. First few days of August were really down because it was the National, but then all of a sudden there was some huge days. In the month of August, I think I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had 5 days in the month of August where I made more in one day than I did in the entire month of January this year. And 3 or 4 that I did more in March. Now, March, I was gone for a week. But, man, my January sucked. Yeah, so I did well. eBay Live went well yesterday for what I was moving. I was selling lots yesterday. And it's basically like stuff. Most of the stuff that I was selling in lots would be in those dime boxes, with the exception of like a starter card. Like, I wouldn't put any Junior Caminero or Cal Raleigh rookies in the dime boxes. I wouldn't put JJ McCarthy or Bo Nix. That's usually those are the type of things that I was starting the lot out with. Then everything else was basically dime box stuff, with a few exceptions, I guess. But so I did well. It was kind of a slog in the morning. I was down to like 6-7 concurrent viewers in the morning, which is pretty bad. It's not pretty bad. It's really bad. But I was still able to do in an hour and 20 minutes. I was able to do well. And then the afternoon show, I was sitting around 30 viewers at a time throughout the entire show. And it was just a timing thing. I had to get going. So overall, it was a good day doing those lots. I'm going to go live this afternoon, 2:00, 2 Central. It'll be singles and lots. I'm going to try to dig through some of the boxes that I acquired over the summer. I think I still have some like sets that I need to break up, like 80s baseball sets, just a few here and there. What else? I know I got people asking for hockey, like 80s hockey. I've got a boxes and boxes of 70s and 80s and hockey. That it's going to be mostly commons, but I'll get those up. So today, 2:00, I'm going to go live twice tomorrow. We'll do an afternoon show and an evening show. Sunday, I'll be at the Janesville Card Show. And then Sunday night, I'll be running Sunday night singles. So, and then I'll take Monday off, which is also Rosh Hashanah. So Monday night, I would take Monday night off anyway. And then Tuesday, we'll see. I might go prime time on Tuesday night. We'll see. We do like a lunch next door for Rosh Hashanah. So that's my schedule, at least for the next few days. In terms of like what I'm looking for, I really think I need to be chasing some higher end stuff to get my numbers up. But I've got to be smart. I've got to be careful. And I guess it's kind of like starting out, because I'm at a point where I want to I need to focus on what I'm best at, and that's moving the low end singles. But you need to make more money. I want to pay the bills and then have more money, right? That's what we strive to do in our work. The struggle is I've got to market better if I'm going to do slabs. If I'm going to do higher end stuff, I've got to market that. So it's not just going to be hey, surprise, here's a 19 whatever. Here's a Michael Jordan rookie. I don't think I would ever run a Michael Jordan rookie, but here's a Michael Jordan rookie. When people are used to me selling 1989 Upper Deck Bo Jackson, different clientele. So I've got to be careful, and I've got to market it better. I've done a little better job. I forgot to. I was working on the Madison Card Show stuff, which I'm going to get to in a second, last night, and I didn't get around to scheduling. See, I need to write shit down. So that's kind of where I'm at. But I do need, because it's fun moving junk, but I want to kind of capture multiple audiences. And it's like, great. There's a certain segment of people that are going to be buying 1989 Topps Bo Jacksons. And then, it's your clientele is going to run out. There's plenty of 89 Topps Bo Jacksons. And you may get a bidding war over the first one, but then when you run the second one, you got one less buyer. But there might only be two. And then all of a sudden it's crickets. So I've got to be, that's what I'm looking to do is I like sourcing unique stuff that also drives bids. Unique stuff, they're like wrestling. I haven't found a wrestling audience, but I also just throw wrestling in. Maybe if I did an entire wrestling show, like cheap wrestling singles, I've got enough because I don't have, if somebody wants, I want wrestling. Well, here's a Ultimate Warrior WWF magazine card. Well, I want autographs. I want slabs. That's not what I do. If I did a wrestling show, it would be cheap singles. You get the WWF magazine singles, you get the 87 tops, you get the 89 classic, that type of stuff. So I think it's all about marketing. And yeah, it may only drive an audience because it's so niche. It may only drive an audience of 6 or 7 people. But if I can move some of that stuff, because it won't move in one of my regular shows. So I don't know, just things that go through my head. So eBay Live today, 2:00. Again, I'll be in Janesville Sunday. So good dime boxes on Sunday. I'll be right at the front door, right as you walk in. I'll have my eBay Live signs and plenty of dime boxes. Madison Card Show is next weekend. It's a 2-day affair at the hotel, the Madison Marriott South, which used to be called the Sheraton Hotel, 706 John Nolan Drive. Same hotel, same location, different name. Madison Card Show is Saturday, 140 tables. I do have a few spots left. I have a few tables open for sports dealers on Saturday, which is kind of a rarity. It's been a while. I did have openings 2 months ago. I had to backfill them with Pokemon, and that's what I'm going to do. So those people that complain that there's too much Pokemon at your card shows, this is the reason why. I need sports dealers. There's openings. Where are you at? Because if in the next couple days, if I don't by shit, I mean, it's already Friday. I'd kind of like to have everything settled by the start of next week. So if I don't, we will start filling those Saturday tables with Pokemon. So there you go. Sunday sold out. Madison Pokemon Show next Sunday. Same hotel, same hours, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Free admission, free parking at the hotel. Tables did go on sale for next month. I look at the calendar. It's like, holy shit, it's already, today's the 19th of September. We have 11 days left, and then we're into October. And the show's a little bit, a few days earlier. It's the 25th of October. So I want to give my dealers from August, I want to give them enough time to get things booked. I didn't put like a hard date. I didn't use the hard date last time. The hard date also fell like right in the middle of the national. So I was busy. I'm sure others were busy as well. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait till about October 1st. That gives us almost 2 full weeks of the links being password protected and live. And then I'll do a follow-up with the dealers that were set up in June or in August. And, if I don't hear anything back, their tables get opened up. And then we'll open them up to the public shortly thereafter. And I've got quite the list of people that have inquired about setting up. And it's like, well, here's the deal. It's sold out until I get tables available. Everybody that sets up at the previous show gets their first right. Basically, what I have to do, if you miss a month, I'm going to give the right to the person that stepped in. I think I know that's. This is a new show, and that's how we're going to do the rules. The hotel, fortunately and unfortunately, I was able to build the dealer base over time. And it's like, well, you've been with me. If you miss a month, that's fine. What we'll do, though, is you will have to rebook your table. You rebook your table, but you'll have to if you can't make a show, say Max can't make the October show, what Max can do, he can book his tables and then he sells them to his buddy and then he doesn't lose his spot. So that's what we're going to do. So if you have to miss a month, book the table and rent it to somebody else. I think that's the most fair way to go. And that's kind of what I do. Some dealers do it in a roundabout way. I don't make them do it at the hotel show. It's like, okay, if you're going to miss a month, you've been with me since June of 2021. I'm not subleasing. Thank you. I'm not going to punish you for missing 1 out of 30 shows. But at the hotel, just going to have to if you don't have anybody, then I don't know. So that's just the only way to go, because there really is. We've done 2 shows, and there is no long-term dealers. I look at this show as a completely separate show. It is not the Madison Card Show at the hotel. The hotel show is completely different. This is the Alliant Energy Center, and everybody starts with a fresh slate. Like we do Name That Player later today. Once somebody wins, we go and we start a brand new scoreboard. We completely forget about all the previous games we played. We completely forget about that. So this is a brand new slate at the Alliant Energy Center. And that's just the way it's going to be. So if you don't like it, tough shit. So that's open. What else? That's about it. Did 2 shows yesterday on eBay Live. It was nice to have the night free to get some of this back end stuff for the shows done. I had to get the posts up for next week's show. It's kind of crazy. Like I'm basically working on 2 shows at a time, or really 3 shows at a time. Because basically the week before the hotel show, I'm working on the Alliant show. So I'm really working on 3 shows right now. Now that I've got the Alliant show, it's basically just customer service crap. Hey, I didn't do this right, or hey, this isn't working, or hey, I want this table. And anyway, so just a little cleanup work. So, all right. So that's what I had. Let's go into the chat. We're going to play Name That Player today. Red Light says, what's up from the Crane? Good morning. Kevin's in the house. Friday night, pizza and family movie night. I get to choose the movie tonight. What's on TV tonight? What's on the Friday night movie? Tonight, for me, it's Friday Night Football. Watch my Anawan Weather, and I'm even wearing their colors. The blue. It's not an Anawan Weathersfield shirt, but they host the Havana Ducks. Which is, if you remember, former baseball pitcher Mark Clark, who pitched for both the Cardinals and Cubs. He lives down around Havana. He actually he went to Bath Balakai High School. I think he was class of 88, but he's around Havana. Havana Ducks coming to Weathersfield High School. Anawan Weathersfield Titans 3-0. They were getting votes the first 3 weeks of the season. They were getting votes in the Associated Press top 10 poll. Didn't get a single vote this week. Now, their combined record, they've outscored their opponents like 48, an average of like 48 to 10. Is it 40? Yeah, probably 48 to 10 on average. However, their opponents combined for a record of 0-9. So they're not exactly playing. They've got a tough stretch. I think after this week, they've got like a 3-game stretch where they play some tough competition. Stark County, Princeville, and Rushville, I think, back to back. So, but I still think they're good enough they'll make I think when I was looking at their schedule, I think even if they lose all 3 of those games, I think they would still finish 6-3, which is basically a guaranteed spot in the playoffs. And they should beat Havana tonight. They're at home, Havana. So, go Titans. L1C, what's going on? Good morning. Peter, happy Friday. Unicorn Cupcake in the house. Jody is here. He says, good morning all in Philly for the weekend and heading to the Philly Card Show. Very nice. Very nice. That's one of the shows that I'd like to get out there, but only for the reason of like seeing people like the Collects guys are out in Philly. Our friend That 70s Card Store, That 70s Card Store is out there. Who else? Forgetting one other person. I think there's a couple other. There's a lot of Philly guys like on YouTube and stuff. So I think it'd be cool to go out to Philly. That's kind of on the bucket. Like it's not really like I have to go out there this year or I have to go out there next year. It's just eventually sometime I'd like to go out. And it's not because of the card show. It's just, it's a good card show, but also there's a lot of people out there. Burbank's a show that I want to go to just because it's Burbank. It's the show. It's Burbank Card Show. Jody says actually tomorrow. Tracy's here. Good morning. Hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. My baby boy is 23. Well, happy birthday. Red Light says 75 tops. If I can find some, if I can find them. Boston Smoke, good morning. Grinding for good, happy Friday. Orlando is in the house. Good morning. Max says, I suggested this when you first started. Set a schedule and stick to it. Wrestling Wednesdays and then vary price points within that sport on that day. Then maybe have free-for-all shows sprinkled. If I had help, I could do that. Here's the problem with that. I was going to do vintage Thursdays. I can't always source vintage. Like I would have to spend way more time sourcing stuff because I buy stuff at a show and it's gone the same day. Like it's just gone. And I don't want to I don't want to buy inventory and then, I'm going to sit on this for 2 weeks until I do my wrestling show or until I do my WNBA show. I'm churning and burning. I guess maybe it's like grocery shopping and it's like, okay, I'm going to spend $1,000 on wrestling, $1,000 on vintage, $1,000 on baseball, $1,000 on football. Maybe I do that. But then if I'm only going to like the Janesville Card Show, it's kind of tough to spend, enough to do a full shows, plural, for the whole week. That's a problem. And then I'm spending a lot of time sourcing. Ideally, that would be a great way to go. It's just difficult to source that much. I have difficulty sourcing just vintage to run a Thursday show. And when I'm talking about, can I source it? Yes. Can I source it at a price where I'm going to make money? No. When I do the wild card shows, I'm selling cards that I have zero into, and I could, make a good amount of money on no cost cards. I go spend $1,000 on modern stuff. I might only net 1,200. Profit is profit, but when I can net 1,200 on junk that I have zero tied into, I'd rather do that. So that's the give and take where I want to sprinkle in, because I do want to get rid of my existing inventory, but at the same time, I have to dangle some of those carrots at the same time. Dave Arnold's in the house. Bushnell Prairie City represent BPC. Max says throughout the week, but have some sort of structure on certain shows. People need to know what to expect moving forward. I agree with that. I think it's the wild card shows are good because a lot of people like the variety. Like I get a lot of compliments on, oh man, I've never seen that card. I love the variety, the different stuff. I do. It seems like, and I don't have hard stats to confirm this. So this is anecdotal. But if I do a WNBA night, my Caitlin Clarks will sell for a couple bucks. If I sprinkle in dangle a carrot of a Caitlin Clark, same card in a random wild card show, it'll sell for $8. Then all of a sudden I move a few more. I put a few more up there, and guess what? They're down to 2 or 3. So, my WNBA show, and I promoted it. I even ran ads for my WNBA show, and it was a stinker. I did okay. But overall, it did not make me what I thought it would, especially with the marketing that I put into it. So that was disappointing. But I'm always learning. Orlando says Dolphins lost again, but it's a beautiful day in South Florida. I had the game on last night. I wasn't paying close attention. Part of me wants to go out and buy. You can buy like a Tua PSA 10 Prism rookie for like $10, I think. And part of me wants to do that, but then a part of me sees what he does in games, and it's like, well, no wonder it's only $10. He sucks. Is Tua going to be the starting quarterback in 3 weeks? I mean, he is, and I don't have the number. I assume he sucked last night. Let's look at the box score. Somebody said, and I think it was in one of my eBay live streams, I said, how's Bryce Young doing this year? And they're like, he sucks. And he threw for 355 yards and 3 touchdowns last week. I'm like, okay, he doesn't suck. You might think he does, but his numbers prove otherwise. Where can I see the box score? Dolphin Bills box. More about this game. There we go. We didn't do that great. 22 for 34, 146 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. So not a good stat line. Here we go. Subleasing. Max says, I hope that gets looked at differently. 608 in the house. Good morning. Hey, how was the concert last night? Dat Dude, he went to go see Luke Bryan in a cornfield. Dat Dude says, as a word of caution, think about future sites being subleased for profit unless it's not a concern at this time. Oh, it happens. It absolutely happens. And I'm sure it happens right now. I honestly don't care. If it becomes a problem, this has happened in the past. As long as they're paid for, I honestly don't care. The thing is, when that starts happening, and I assume that's happening right now. I assume that's happening right now. It just makes the table prices go up. It's like, well, I've got 7 dealers subleasing their tables for an increase. It looks like the price of tables is going to go up. So that could end up backfiring for those people that do. It's happened. I know people who've done it at various shows, and it's probably going to continue to happen. Max is correct. Other shows in the area are already having a problem with that. Absolutely. Kevin says, God, I have no clue what I'm picking tonight to watch. I would avoid Human Centipede and Walrus. That Dude says it can also lead to empty spaces without responsibility. I've had many lease negotiations. That's it. If they're paid for, ultimately, I want the money. I also want the space filled. But everything is prepaid. So if it's paid, money's in my pocket. That's kind of my number one concern because I've got bills to pay. But also, I don't want people paying for tables and not showing up. I think I had the Pokemon show. I think I had 5 dealers pay for tables and not show up. It's like, at that point, I didn't care because I did make note. I wrote down in my note, I looked to see who they were. So that is prevented. But at the end of the day, what happens is, if somebody doesn't show up and it's 10 o'clock, usually I reach out. If it's like 9:30, so this is kind of how I handle things. If it's 9:30 and I see, John hasn't showed up, I'll reach out. Hey, are you running late? By 10 o'clock, I just tell the person with the next table, hey, can you backfill the spaces? And they get a free table. So that's kind of how it's handled. You don't want, I had somebody, this is a long time ago. This was back before I did prepay. And I had somebody who actually ran a card shop and did a show and then didn't show up to the next month. Had booked the table, didn't show up. And I'm like, hey man, are you running late? He's like, oh, I couldn't make it out today. Like, okay, this is not how we're going to run things. All right. I'm like, all right, moving forward, you have to prepay. Or maybe I didn't even do that. I'm like, okay, whatever. And I think I said, because basically he said, I think the language he used was, I'll prepay. And if I can't be there, just give my table to somebody else. It's like, no, I can't have an open table. So I'm like, I'd rather have I want your commitment that you're going to be here, and I need that commitment in monetarily as well. So it is. I wouldn't say one is more important than the other. Ultimately, I've got bills to pay to cover. There's that, if it's one table, all right, the one table fee is not going to break me. But all of a sudden, if it's like 10 tables, I have 10 tables open that I couldn't fill. It's like, okay, this is really cutting in to what we're doing. And at the same time, you don't want, and I had early on, before I did prepay, I'd have like 3 tables in the middle of the what was called the main ballroom back then, like early on. And it's like, I can't have this. And I had a waiting list. And it's like, I'm telling people, no, there's no space, but yet there's 3 open tables right in the prime real estate section. We ain't doing that. Cody says, setting up on a Sunday so you can, so you have an excuse not to watch the Bears game. Oh, what time do the Bears play on Sunday? I can't remember how shows did on regular season last year. I wasn't into the Bears as much. Oh, the Bears Cowboys. It's probably a noon game, isn't it? Oh, it's a 3:00 game. I can still watch the Bears. It's a 3:25 game. So I'll probably be wrapping up at 2. So I'll be home by kickoff. Merle says, my uncle is in Philly. It was his birthday yesterday. It would be very interesting taking him to a card show. Do it. Kevin says, maybe one of the newer Alien movies. I'm starting to get into the Halloween mood. Me too. I was sorting the other day and I put on it was a John Carpenter movie. And I think I've seen it before. I'm positive I have. I think Faye Dunaway was in it. What the heck? Faye Dunaway. It was definitely Faye Dunaway. Faye Dunaway, 1978. John Carpenter movie. I think They're Watching Me. No. Eyes. It was not Eyes of Laura Mars. All right. Maybe. I'm pretty sure that's Faye Dunaway, though. John Carpenter movies. Maybe it wasn't 1978. Let's see. What's John? 1970s. Someone's Watching Me. Oh, it's Lauren Hutton. Not Faye Dunaway. Lauren Hutton. Someone's Watching Me. A 1978 American. Oh, it was a made-for-television thriller. Interesting. Starred Lauren Hutton, David Burney, and Adrienne Barbeau. The film was made immediately prior to Carpenter's theatrical hit Halloween. Aired on NBC on November 29th, 1978. That's kind of I guess it's not a Halloween movie. It's more of a thriller. Basically the plot, in case you were wondering, Someone's Watching Me from 1978. Lee Michaels relocates from New York City to Los Angeles, where she lands a job directing live television for a local station. Lee rents a spacious apartment in a downtown high-rise building. She quickly befriends Sophie, a lesbian co-director with whom she will be working, and is aggressively pursued by Steve, a male director. During her first day on the job, Lee receives an anonymous phone call from an unknown man. When she returns to her apartment, she finds the door unlocked and presumes it was a worker who forgot to lock it after performing maintenance. Unbeknownst to Lee, the man who phoned her at work, a stalker residing in a building across from hers, has infiltrated the apartment and placed recording devices inside to monitor her. There you go. All right. So there you go. Someone's probably not good for the kids to watch that one, though. Take him to Kensington, says Unicorn Cupcake. Dad Dude says, Philly show has been great. I always find great stuff. Kevin says, I've not seen this Human Centipede, but I've seen so many memes about it that I've got an understanding of it, and I'm somewhat interested to watch it, but not with the family. Max says, all I'm saying is that the wave is coming for you. Train the people you have unlimited access to now. Unicorn says, Philly is home to a lot of companies that created cards in the early 1900s. By the way, the Cowgirls are going to smoke the Bears on Sunday. Ah, ha, ha. I don't think so. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, all that good stuff. Max says, Rich, I heard Goodell was considering canceling the game for lack of competitiveness on both sides. Cody says, show was good going to Hailstorm with Lindsey Sterling on Sunday too. Wow, what a week. Hailstorm. L1C says the Bo tariff. That's right. Rich says, and your vision of subletting your tables is the opposite of what many large promoters are doing. I do think you are correct. Because that cannot be controlled anyway, so allow it and move on. Max, that would be great. Max says, well, what about the dealers? What about other dealers that aren't subleasing their tables? Why should they get their hands slapped for being there and not giving their tables away? What about other dealers that aren't subleasing their tables? Why should they get their hands slapped? Nobody's getting their hands slapped. I don't understand what your comment is about. If you, I mean, dealers that don't sublease their tables, like sublease your tables, like everybody has equal opportunity here. I don't understand what your gripe is. You're getting your hand slapped because you're not booking. You're missing. If you miss a show and you don't book the table, like that's sublease it. You have equal opportunity. If you can't make a show, book it and give it up, and then you can come back. You're booking the table. You're not giving it to somebody else, and then they're taking it the rest of the way. It's still under, as long as you book it under your name, it's like, okay, Max had table 177 this month, and then Max books, and then Max lets me know, hey, I'm not going to be at the show, but I rebooked, and my buddy John's going to be there. And then Max gets to rebook the next time. I don't understand why that's a bad thing. If you want to be my assistant and handle all of this bullshit, then be my guest. Being okay about subleasing tables is just so wrong, in my opinion, on so many levels. Well, start your own card show, and you can police it how you police it. Rich says, for the first time in a long time, I had people now show up who were supposed to be there. That's always a good thing. Rich says, I just let the people spread out, but I also have so minimal costs in the show I now run. That's okay. Unicorn says, any issues with the sublease should fall back on the original leasee. Bears game, 320. I'll be there in front of my TV. I always worry about being left open to get sued. That's why I overthink every line of contracts. Rich says, Max, someday I'll take your table. The biggest show I ever ran was 75 tables, so that's a big difference as well. I think what Max is saying is that you are showing preference to people who sublease over those who actually show up. No, I'm not. That's not what we're talking about. I'm showing preference to people who book tables, whether they show up or not. I'm not showing preference to people who sublease. I'm showing preference to people who book every single month. If Max books every month, he's getting the same treatment. I don't understand where this miscommunication is coming from. You said you'll just raise the table price for the show because people, okay, we're talking about two different things. Well, yeah, you should know this, being in the financial world, it's called supply and demand. Right now, we have more demand than there is supply. I also have more expenses coming up. So in January, get ready because tables are going to go up to $100 a table. So there's your warning. But we also have this supply and demand issue. And when there's more demand than supply, and people kind of like, why do you think blaster boxes are $35 in stores now? Because people were going in, buying them for $20 and selling for $80 on eBay and everywhere else. Guess what the companies did? Well, we're going to take a piece of that. That's what promoters are doing. You want to go sublease? That's where the price point is. It's not punishment. It's just business. It's capitalism. And you, Max, of all people, should know that. Dat Dude says, I think he means if subleases drive the price up, his price goes up even after being loyally booked every month. Gotcha. Now we're on the same page. Also, if I can't skip a month and I've been doing your show for 3 fucking years, it's garbage. My 2 cents. Well, that's fucking garbage. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. L1C says the glory of subleasing, the promoter gets a chance to make a new contact. Then you may get a chance to make a new loyal dealer. Amen. All right. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. That dude says some of your work could be solved with a long-term contract that shows loyalty, and you don't have to worry about busy work of booking. It's a long-term lease for committed dealers. I've had a few people that have done that. I've got one dealer that booked through the whole year. It's kind of a pain on the back end for me to maintain that. It does. And I'm probably doing it I could probably find there's probably a better way in the back end for me to handle and handle this booking on the Saturday shows because it's just a Google sheet. If anybody has that's not that I've got so many fucking payments that I have to send out on this shit that I don't want to spend more money on a planner. You need to hire somebody, plain and simple. That's a good point. That I'll agree on. That dude says wordage that allows for increases from sites, but that is transparent up front. Max 100%. And the thing is, like with raising prices, my venues the hotel has raised their prices every single year. I've only raised my prices once. We've been doing the show since 2021. I have only raised table prices, even with people. I've had people pay me $150. I've had offers of $200 for one single table. And I didn't raise my prices. I raised the prices from $50 to $60 this past year. That's the first time. And my rent has gone up every single year. And I keep getting hit with more and more hidden fees at the Alliant Energy Center. And there's also an increase every year they raise their rent. So not only is rent being raised, but now I have to pay for parking. I'm eating that for 2 months. And then that's going in with an increase in price. So basically I'm splitting the $100 covers the parking and the increase. And I think that remainder, because it's what, $8 for parking. Because I have to pay the full amount of parking for vendors. It's not like when I pay for parking on the front end, like I did in June, it's like a discounted rate, but they charge per head, which ends up being anyway. All right. Rich says the only reason I raise my prices is my biggest expense is now the security cost. Yeah. Security, insurance. Security is not cheap. Yeah. That's what. It's like, God, everything's going up. Well, yeah, there's a lot of expenses that I have to fuck with. It's a pain in the ass, but it's nicer not having to listen to, you need to move across the street. There's nowhere to park. Now I just have to hear people bitch about parking, paying for parking. Rent the Hilton down Rimrock and have a dual show. You will be groundbreaking. Insurance is carried through the synagogue, so I don't have that one. Well, that's good. That's good. All right. I did a breakdown of like, I might have shared this on a show recently where it's like just on marketing, just on sponsored ads, just on advertising. I spent $2,000. All right. And what's that divided by 85 tables? Like just on advertising. And we're not even talking about rent. That's 23 and a half tables. 23 and a half tables in my show went to advertising. That doesn't even count the rent, doesn't count the insurance, doesn't count the marketing materials, doesn't count the badges, doesn't count the security, doesn't count the insurance, doesn't count the employees that I hired to take the money into Tom to help me. Doesn't count the stanchion, the rope that I have to rent. That's 2 tables just for fucking rope. 2 tables. 23 of 85. 23 tables, yeah. 23 tables at $85 a piece is around $2,000. Boston Smoke says, will the day come when you make more on eBay Live and then don't promote shows anymore? I mean, I'll probably, yeah. I mean, yeah, I make more on eBay Live now than what I do in shows. I make significantly more money on eBay Live than I do promoting card shows. And it's not close. But even though I bitch about promoting the shows, I enjoy it. And it's a nice stream of income. It's not passive income because there is a lot of work that goes into it, but it's, I can do it when I want. Like I just, when I opened my phone, I had an email from Madison Card Show website, probably just asking about a random question. Like I can answer that whenever I want. I can go take a shit right now and I can just answer my email. So sometimes when I respond to your email, I may be taking a dump. So that's kind of the nice thing about the shows, with the exception of actually being there on the days. That's a full couple days. But all right, let's play Name That Player. I wanted to keep this under an hour today. Let's get that leaderboard up. L1C says, I have a good friend that is a promoter for a living. He often dreams about the 40-hour 9-to-5. See, that would drive me, a 40-hour 9-to-5 would drive me nuts. I love working 80 hours a week. His beer drinking stories are great. The level of bullshit he deals with is off the charts. It's not easy. Yeah. You are welcome. You are welcome. Yeah, I did the office job thing, and I fucking hated it. Like, it's not me. Like, working set hours, not me. Like, I want to be all over the place. I want to work not 9 to 5. I want to work night and day. I want to work weekends. Like, that's just my style. All right. So let's play Name That Player. We're going to start with 80s football. 80s football, LA Rams. Last name only, must be spelled correctly. It is not Henry Ellard. It is not Eric Dickerson. It is not Irvin or Hayward, but it is Jackie Slater, L1C with the point. Hall of Famer. Jackie Slater, L1C. I think, is that your first point this round? I believe it is. L1C on the board. Oh. All right, next up we go, modern baseball. Modern baseball. It's a pitcher for the Yankees. These cards should be a lot on eBay Live. My eBay Live viewers would be like, what the fuck is this? I don't want these. These did come from my eBay Live box, though. It is Jordan Montgomery. Max with the point. Jordan Montgomery. Where's he at now? Is he with the Diamondbacks now? Max extends his lead. He's at 9 points. Dat Dude is at 6. We got another football. We got Uncle Rich's Cowboys. I know he's not a Cowboys fan. All right, Uncle Rich in the Dallas Cowboys. One of my favorite players from the 90s. I think we're going to get a lot of wrong answers on this one. Oh, John, that's a good guess. Alvin Harper is a good guess. Not good, not correct, but a good guess. It is not Jerry Rice. It is not T.O. That was one of the guesses I was expecting to see. It is not Haley. It is not Michael Irvin. It is not Owens. It's Rocket Ishmael. Yes. Rocket. All right. Max with double digits at 10. All right. Next up, We got some 90s baseball. 90s baseball. Little Fleer Provisions. Here's a good one. There's a little hint on this one. Everybody gets Tim Salmon. You even got some salmon there in the background. First one, Unicorn Cupcake. First on the board. Rich was second. Max was third. Is that your first point this round? It is. So L1C and Unicorn with points today. Unicorn Cupcake. Oops. There we go. Going back to football. Ooh, 80s football again. All right. Next up, Dave Arnold says Brunansky. All right. 80s football. Unicorn says that's his 1 point per round. Chris Collinsworth is correct. Rich with the point. Rich was first. Max was second. L1C and Grinding for Good both spelled it wrong. Uncle Rich with the point. And where's he? Oh, he moves into a tie for third with John Maybe. All right, here we go. Modern baseball. This is a tough one. This is a tough one. Royals. It is not Mitchell. That's a good guess. It is not Vinny Pasquantino. It is not Gomez, but it is Gavin Cross. That dude. Gavin Cross. Precious Elements. That dude has 7. All right, next up. Oh, more 80s football. Pittsburgh Steelers. You got an extreme close-up of this guy. Oh, I thought he was a defensive end for some reason. Is he a wide receiver? No. He was an offensive player. Tight end. And we do have a correct answer. It's Benny Cunningham. Merle with the point. Benny Cunningham. For some reason, I thought Benny Cunningham was a defensive end. Merle on the board. I think that's Merle's first point. All right, I'm going to use MI3. Put me on the board. All right. Oh, here's where are my wrestling fans? We got a token wrestler. One wrestling card today. Who is this? I want the character name spelled correctly, portrayed on this card. He has a few other characters over the course of his career, but this was by far his only his only character that he'd be put on a trading card. It is Kamala, and I think Merle might be 2 for 2. Merle was first. Dat dude from Duryea was second. Rich was third. Kamala, the Ugandan giant. Merle on a run. All right, so he's got 2. All right. Next up, we got modern baseball, but of a older player. Modern card old player. Pittsburgh Pirates. Last name must be spelled correctly. Mazeroski is correct. John Maybe with the point. Bill Mazeroski. Bill Mazeroski spelled correctly. John breaks the tie with Uncle Rich. He's at 4. All right, next up. Ooh, we got a good one here. It's a classic draft picks. High school player here, but if you were collecting in the early 90s, you would know the name. You need the last name spelled correctly. It's kind of easy to spell. It's Taylor, Brian Taylor, Yankees. Top prospect back in the day. I think Uncle Rich was first on this one. That is correct. Uncle Rich back into a tie with John. All right, we got 3 more left. I've got a basketball and 2 baseball. Next up is basketball. This is going to be difficult. This is going to be really tough. And it's also got to be spelled correctly, which is also kind of tough. If you are like me, I saw this in I think a $1 autograph box, and I had to buy it. It's something that I'd probably put in my buy it now store because nobody on eBay Live is going to buy this. But if you're big into the NCAA tournament and tournament history, this is one of the all-timers. I will give you a hint. He played at Weber State. He had a great NCAA tournament in, I think, the late 90s or early 2000s. It's got to be spelled correctly. Weber State. It is not Elijah. It is not Jimmer Fredette. It is not Wally Zerbiak or Bill Lambier or Christian Leitner. It is not Tractor Trailer. It is not Smith. It is not Smythe. It is not Marshall. It's a really difficult name to spell. Weber State. It's not Gill. Hopefully nobody struggled to spell Gill. I'm going to type in. I might have to give some hints. Oh, it was early 2000s. Nope. Nobody has it. Not even close yet. Let's see. Oh, it was not. It was the late 90s, 1999. So Weber State upset North Carolina. So I'm giving you a lot of hints. Now you can just Google it. Weber State, 1999. So I don't think they made a Cinderella run, but it was more for the upset win. Where's the so they beat North Carolina in the first round. I'm not looking at the chat right now, so we may have a correct answer. North Carolina was making its 25th consecutive appearance. The Wildcats were heavy underdogs. Weber State faced Florida in the second round. Arsenault scored 32. Oh, wow. They took Florida into overtime in the second round. It is Harold Arsenault. All right, Harold Arsenault. Let's see. I think we got a few correct answers. Okay, let's see. God Shamgod went to Providence, actually, not UConn, Providence. Let's see. Arsenault. Let's see. Did Rock Latex spell it correctly? ARCENEAUX. Rock Latex. You are the winner. So Rock Latex, I think that's his first point. Now, did you, of the people that ended up with Arsenault, did you Google it? How many people did not have to Google that? That 70s Card Show says, installed a ceiling fan in 25 minutes. Can I ask the host what his personal record is? I can honestly say I have never installed a ceiling fan, and I never will. All right. Here we go. We got two more left. Both Yankees. All right, here we go. We got New York Yankees. New York Yankees. 1990 Donruss Learning Series. Gem City says, we draw the line at oil changes. I've never changed my own oil. Are you shocked? All right, we've gone through that before. Porter ChatGPT'd it. It is Dave Righetti. Dave Righetti. All right, this is another tough one to spell. Dave Righetti. 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 Looks like, was Peter the first on this one? Righetti. Peter with the point. Peter, where are you at? I thought you had a point. No, Peter's first point. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4 first points today. That's good. I like that. A little variety. Spaghetti Righetti. Peter says second point. Of this round or just all together? Did I miss you on the board? Oh, I did miss you on the board. All right. Peter, second point for Peter. 2 points. There we go. I thought you had a point. All right. So Peter's at 2. All right. Last card, also Yankees. Bone barely knows how to change his man pun. All right. Next up, it's a 19. Hey, red light was looking for 75. Here's one. 1975 Topps, New York Yankees. Oops. Who is it? This one's an easy one to spell. It's only 4 letters. Rich gets it. It's not Guts, Dave. Larry Gura. Uncle Rich with the point. And Rich breaks that tie with John, and he's at 5. So we got kind of a tight battle at the top. Max in first with 10. Dat Dude in second with 7. Uncle Rich in third with 5. And John Maby's at 4. Merle with 2 points today. Oh, yeah, I forgot about Merle. Merle had his first and second point today. All right. There we go. There we go. There we go. Oh, this goes in here. All right. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. 2 o'clock this afternoon, eBay Live. Come see me then. Let's see. Hobby Evolution, we will go live tomorrow morning. No Hobby Evolution on Sunday, but you can come out and see me in Janesville with some banging dime boxes Sunday in Janesville, Wisconsin. All right. Have a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow.